Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to Breakfast with Sergio. In this episode, I want to talk to you about when and how to say no to things that might distract you from your art career. All right, my friends, super happy to be here with you. On my plate this morning for breakfast, a good old peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's what I have on my plate. Super simple, also with some bananas just sliced on the side. That's my breakfast for the day. I'm kind of running on the way out, so no time to do something more elaborate. Let me know what you're having for breakfast. I always enjoy reading what you have for breakfast today as well. And thank you for those of you who also send me recipes. I love those. Well, my friends, today I want to talk to you about saying no. Because if you are like me, I'm a yes type of guy. I'm a yes type of person. In other words, I like to say yes to things. Sergio, let's do this. Yes. Sergio, why don't we do a show here? Yes, Sergio, how about we collaborate? Yes, Sergio, can you write this for me? Yes, Sergio, yes, right? Whatever. Can you donate a piece for our auction? Yes, sure. So I'm a yes type of guy. And I have a hard time saying no. And it wasn't until a few years ago when I really started to learning how to say no and really put attention to the things I say yes to and the things I had to say no to. Because otherwise, what happened is I started to get in trouble with my schedule, with the family, things I say yes to when we had another activity planned for the family, or maybe giving too much away for something that I needed for something else. So, saying yes to things, even though you do it with all your heart and because you want to be helpful or whatnot, and you want to participate, you don't want to lose opportunities, sometimes could be also detrimental to your art career, especially where you want to go. So when I learned the power of no, it really changed many things for my own art career and for the things I was going for. So let's talk about when to say no, right? When to say no. When you get an email for an opportunity that's coming up, when you get an email for something, asking you to do a certain thing, when you get an email for something, whatever it may be, or somebody asks you or somebody texts you or whatnot, you have to remember that whenever you say yes to something, you are by default saying no to something else, which perhaps is something super important that you were already planning on doing or working on. And then by saying yes to something over here, now you have less time to what you had over here. So when you say yes to something, by default, you're saying no to something else. So that's something super important to remember, because when you start thinking about those terms, next time you say a yes, you got to think about, okay, what did I just say no to? Because it's impossible to do everything at the same time. It's impossible to say, okay, I'm going to spend all this week in the studio, and all of a sudden now I'm distracted and I'm doing all the things, which, as you know, something that you think, it's going to take just 10 minutes ends up being an hour or two. Sometimes the things that are smaller becomes really, really the things that are become really big in the long run. Sometimes, a little thing becomes a big thing, and before you know it, what you thought it was going to be a small commitment now became a big commitment. So you got to be careful of that. You got to remember, right? It's a mindset. If I say yes to this email, if I say yes to this opportunity, if I say yes to this, what am I saying no to by default? So something to think about. First thing to think about. Now, second thing you think about, when an opportunity comes your way or somebody's asking you to do something, is to think about also in terms of what's your bottom line. And this is something I learned also, which is super important over the years, is what is your bottom line, right? What is the bottom line of what I'm trying to do right now, this year in my art career? What is the bottom line? Once you understand what's your bottom line, then you have a way to measure, right? Is this activity, is this time commitment, is this thing I'm giving or whatever, is it going to be part of my bottom line, or is it not part of my bottom line? So let me give you an example. The bottom line, the way I define the bottom line for you as an artist, is the thing that you want to do the most, the thing that you're trying to accomplish right now, right? And as you know, I talk a lot about, planning for the future, a lot of strategic thinking. So when you do that, you have your bottom line. You understand what's your bottom line. What are the things you want to do? Last year, during Breakfast with Sergio, I talked a lot about last year was a year in which my bottom line was exposure, and I was very busy. I made 2018 my year of exposure. That was my bottom line. And I spent a lot of time traveling. I went to different countries also with my work, and I say yes to many opportunities abroad. And by saying yes to those opportunities, I had to say no to spending more time in my studio, to doing other things that I wanted to do. But I was okay with it because that was my bottom line. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Now, fast forward to now, 2019, the moment I'm making this video, which is the spring. I don't know when you're watching it, but right now in the spring, my bottom line for 2019, if you've been watching Breakfast with Sergio, and I mentioned this at the beginning of 2019, is different, right? My whole dynamics for 2019 is very different. This year, I'm saying no to many opportunities that are going to take away time from my studio, because in 2019, I am really focused on making a new body of work, and I'm working, very strategically in my studio. In order to do that, I need to say no to more things that may be simple, maybe, things that, are little things here and there, but at the end of the day, they will take a big chunk of time from work that I could be doing in my studio, right? So my bottom line in 2019 is, will this activity, how much time is it going to take away from me and my studio and the things that I want to get accomplished, get done in 2019? So I have a way to measure, right? If somebody asking me, hey, Sergio, can you donate a piece for an auction, whatnot? I have to think about it's not only the donation of the piece, it's also my time to deliver the piece, to go back, how is it, time is it going to take me, what are the implications, do I need this work for the body of work that I'm building, all those things are important. So I have a way to measure. So my friend, if you don't understand your bottom line, if you do not understand your bottom line, you have to take some time and think about what is it that I'm trying to accomplish this year or right now, or in the next 6 months, however you plan, and that will help you, measure whether something should be a yes or a no. A yes or no. Is that going to help me out? So there are things that I'm saying yes this year that I, wasn't expecting, but an invitation that came or something, and I see, well, this is actually in line with what I'm trying to do with my bottom line. I say yes to if it's doable. I say yes to because it can help me get to where I want to be and where I want to go. So my friend, that is my word of advice for you today. So this is how, this is when, right? This is when you have to say no, right? When it's not in line with your bottom line. Now, at the same time, there are sometimes opportunities that come your way and that it might not be lined up, but it's a great opportunity you don't want to miss. So if that's the case, then you have to readjust, right? You have to readjust and say, okay, if I'm going to say yes to that, right? How can I do it in a way that is not going to totally distract me from this, which is my bottom line, this which I'm trying to do right now? So maybe so that this doesn't suffer, you might have to adjust other things in your life so that you can still have time to do that. Now, the way you also say no, so this is we talk about when, right? Now the how to say no. Because sometimes that's hard, and I know for me that was really hard at the beginning. If I wanted to say no to something, but I didn't want to make the other person to feel bad or to feel like, I don't want to do it, or I feel like, they think I'm too busy or whatever. So what I have to do, what I have learned is to be gracious when I say no. When I say no to something, first I acknowledge the invitation, say thank you so much. I'm positive in the response. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on the event or the show, whatever it is. And then in a gracious way say, unfortunately, at this time, I have to say no. Or unfortunately, due to my prior commitments, which is true, the things that I have said yes to before, due to those prior commitments, I have to decline, I have to say no, I cannot do it. And you have to be very specific. You cannot say, well, I cannot do it right now, maybe later. Because then you're leaving a window for them to hit you back again, a month from now and so on, and help you change your mind. So you gotta be strategic and say no when no is a no, be very specific, and then thank them again at the end. And that way you end in a good note. So my friend, hope you enjoyed this episode of Breakfast with Sergio. Check out all the resources I have for artists at theartistnextlevel.com. Thank you for watching. Please share it with your friends, and I will see you in the next episode of Breakfast with Sergio. Goodbye.